welcome. Starting the live video. If you joined in, come and say hi. I'm going to share it onto the group. Hello. Hi, Vicky. Hi, Jean. Okay, I think I've got it shared to the group. Hi, Michaela. You came for the Boozy hot chocolate? Say hi when you hop on so I know who's here. How's everybody doing today? Hi, Tiffany. How you doing? Haven't seen you in a while. Next Saturday, we're having a open crap, so hope you can join us next week, Tiffany. You're watching TV, Vicky? Are you watching Hallmark Channel? Hey, Megan. Hi, Anthony. How are you? Your tree looks really pretty today. Your tree looked good too, Megan. I've got my tree up and decorated, but apparently I need to add bows to it. So I'm working on that. Ooh, pasta sauce. Did you make your involved pasta sauce recipe? Michaela made butternut squash raviolis that looked really good. Oh, Darcy's sleeping. He must have got into the Baileys. I'll wait just a couple more minutes and then we'll start. Well, I can understand, Vicky, why you wouldn't put up a tree with your 3 cats. It would be more trouble than what it's worth. So far, Darcy's left the tree alone. He does like to sleep under it on the tree skirt. So, okay, well, we're waiting for some people to hop on. I will get started so we don't go too late. I think today I'll make it within an hour. I want to welcome everybody to the live. This is The Crafty Chemist. I'm Maggie Workman, The Crafty Chemist. My website to shop at is thecraftychemist.closetomyheart.com. My business page on Facebook is Crafty Chemist Designs. And then I invite you to join my group, my Facebook group, where we share ideas and I post all the latest sales and things like that. And then I also have a blog where I periodically post. It's called periodicallycrafty.blogspot.com. Hi, Jean. Jean J. We have both Jeans today. Tiffany, that sounds great. I need new screens in my windows. I should get doing that. Did you do it yourself, or did you take them like the Home Depot or something? Okay, I just wanted to remind people of a couple things that are going on. Next Saturday, we are having a free virtual Christmas card workshop. I am going to be working on the Jingle Joy cards. They look like this. But you are welcome to come and work on whatever you want to work on. You can work on making cards, doing scrapbooking, or crocheting, anything you want. Just come and join in on the fun. It is December 5th, so next Saturday from 1 to 4, and it is a virtual Zoom session. So I'll post a link in my group. I want to remind people about the VIP program. If you're thinking about signing up, you should sign up this month because there is a special going on through the end of the year. There's a $35 joining fee, and you get $25 close to my heart cash back if you join before December 31st. After December 31st, you only get, I think, $15 cash back. And then you get 15% in future CTMH cash on every purchase. Okay, so it's like hosting your own party every month. Okay, I just also wanted to remind you about the Seasons in Motion promotion that's going on, cute animated holiday stamps. And actually today I just filmed a Technique Tuesday on how these work. So I will post that on Tuesday and you can get an idea about how these work. But I just wanted to remind you about that. And then lastly, the Jingle All the Way album workshop kit. This is a kit that uses the Jingle Joy paper, and you can get it with the album and the page protectors and the flip flaps, and you can make a really cute holiday album, and here are sort of the layouts. So this is on, I think, until the end of the year, until December 31st, okay? So if you're thinking about that, I would get on it. Okay, so let's get started. Today I am going to be making these Boozy hot chocolate gift boxes. They're really cute, they're 3D, but they are super easy to make. This is just one piece of cardstock. And in it I put a hot chocolate cake cup, some marshmallows, and a mini bottle of Bailey's. That's why they're called Boozy hot chocolate. Okay, Dad just was checking the comments. I've also made a non-boozy version if you are just not into the booziness. And this one, what I did is I put a coffee pod, and then I put one of these like little Debbie tree snack cakes. But you could put anything you want. You could put, a little bag of cookies that you made or whatever. So the process is the same. Okay, but I thought these were really, really cute. And what I really like about the hot chocolate one is that it's a K-cup, yes, so it's a K-cup, but then you say, what if the person doesn't have a K-cup machine or Keurig? Well, that's okay, because this is just hot chocolate in here. And so you can just take off the lid, pour it into your cup, and pour hot water on it. So even if you don't have a Keurig, you can use this, right? Because it totally dissolves. It's just like regular hot cocoa. Okay, these marshmallows are Smashmallow toasted vanilla. Smashmallow ones come in all different flavors. They do have an individual size package that will fit into here. If you kind of roll it up, it'll fit into there. I couldn't find them. I went just once and I couldn't find them. So I got these and put them in a treat bag. And then the Bailey's Minis, this is 100 milliliters, and it comes in a pack like this. So I found these at Target in the, at our Target, there's like a separate alcohol area at the front of the store, and that's where these were. So they're Bailey's Minis, and it comes in a 3-pack. So a really cute little gift for your neighbor or your coworker. I think these are great coworker gifts. So if you are still going into the office or whatever and you need coworker gifts, these would be perfect. Okay, so let's get started. They're really super easy to make. So the first thing is you need an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. And it can be solid paper because, I don't know if you can see, but my box is actually solid paper. You can do it in decorator paper if you want to, but I will say that our cardstock is a little bit heavier than the printed paper, so I would recommend doing it with the solid cardstock and then decorating the tops. Okay, so you need a piece of paper and cut it down to 8.5 by 11. So, you know, our cardstock comes in 12 by 12. So I'm going to cut it down to 8.5 by 11. It's on the 11. Okay, and then I will cut it to 8.5. Okay, so I have this first part done, 8.5 by 11. Okay, and now we're going to do some scoring. Okay, the first score that we're going to make is at 1/2 inch on the long side. So this is the long side. And so we're going to make it on the long side. I'm going to put in my scoring blade, but if you have a scoring board, you can use your scoring board. So I'm going to put this in, and then I'm going to measure at 1/2 inch. And I'm going to measure it on this side of the line because it's easier when you're doing small. Oh, whoops, wrong way. Glad I did it before we want to do it right the long way. So 1/2 inch. It doesn't look like I cut that very straight. Let me... Must not have had it up against the thing right. Okay, there we go. Feel better about that now. Okay, 1/2 inch. And score it. Oops. Okay. So now we're going to do it at 2.5 inches. We're going to score it. And so now I am going to flip the paper over and start using this side of the measuring board. Okay. So 2.5. Okay, and then 4.5. Okay, and then the last one is 6.5. Okay, so basically you can kind of see all you're doing is this is going to be like the top, the middle, and the bottom of the folded part here. So it's going to be, right, this piece, and then on the bottom. Okay, now turn it 90 degrees. So now you're doing it along the long side, and we're going to do it at 1.25 inches. And then the last one is 7.25. Okay, we're done with this now. Is anybody following along and needs me to slow down? Just let me know. Okay, now what we're going to do is trim off this a little bit. So where the score lines are, so that you're scored here to here, you're going to cut that little piece off, that little corner off, and then taper the edges to going in, okay? So I don't know if you can see my lines on here. There you go. So basically I'm cutting this rectangle out, and then I'm going to taper it in there, okay? So I cut right along the score line, and then kind of angle it a little bit, just so we can make a tab. And then I'm going to do that on this side. And then angle it in. The angle isn't quite, you know, important, because you're going to, this is the part that you're going to tape to the back to hold it up. Okay? And so now we're going to make the holes for the Baileys to fit in, and the K-cup and the marshmallows. Okay, so this is something you want to think about, you know, what you're going to put in them before you cut the holes. Okay, because the size of the holes matter. So we're going to cut these holes here. Okay, if you're going to do the Baileys and the K-cup and then the marshmallows, it's going to look like this. In my version where I did the treat and the coffee, I did something different. So I made the K-cup hole, and then I made a bigger rectangle to fit this tree in. Okay, so think about what you're going to do before you start cutting the holes. But let's do it like our Boozy version. Okay, and so they go, I kind of drew little circles here. They go on the side, on the first panel that's from this tab, okay? Now my circles are, I saved them to show you, and I wrote on them. So the big one is 1 3/4. I'll measure that so you can see, in diameter. So 1 3/4 in diameter is the big one. This is the one that fits the K-cup and the Baileys. Okay, 1 3/4. The middle one that I have the marshmallows is 1 1/4. Okay. So I'm making 2 big ones and one small one. Now, you do have to kind of play around with it to fit all 3 of those in there. So that's why I have these like little templates to help me, you know, mark where I'm going to put them. Okay. Now, if you have a circle cutter, great. If you have circle dies, great. You can just cut these by hand if you want, like, you know, draw a circle that's 1 3/4 inch in diameter, and you know, cut it out. I used the Creative Memories circle cutter because that's what I have to make circles. Okay, so I'm going to bring my little Creative Memories mat in here. These are like old school circles, and then the little cutting pieces. Now my 1 3/4 inch circle, I used the medium Creative Memories circle. This is the medium circle, this one here, and then I used the blue blade. Okay, so what I would do is I put my little circle down, got my blade out, the blue blade. I stuck this on here, and then I kind of lined it up to make sure that it fit. And you might see my head here. Because you want it to be, you don't want it to go outside of the area where you scored. You want it to all be within that one rectangle there, if that makes sense. And it kind of goes right up, I don't know if you can see, it kind of goes right up to the edge. So you need to make sure that you're not off. So you have to be kind of careful. Okay, so let's use this. Okay, so my circle came out, and it wasn't too bad. It fit between the score marks. See, I have a score mark there, and then I have a score mark here. I went right up against the score mark there. So you can see it's a pretty tight fit because this is only 2 inches wide, and this circle is 1 3/4, so you don't have a lot of room. Okay, so now let's do the other one. And again, I put my templates down just so that I can make them even. Okay, center my circle. Let's check to make sure that it's going to be right. Get it kind of lined up there. And cut the bigger circle. Make sure you cut the whole thing out. Okay, there you go. Okay, so there's the second one. And you can see I cut it right inside. And now we have to do the middle one. Okay, remember the middle one is 1 1/4. So this middle one, I use the small Creative Memory circle with the red blade. So these ones I had used a medium circle, now I'm going to use a smaller one. And then I'm going to change my blade. But again, this is 1 1/4, so you can, however you can make these is fine. Like I said, just draw the circle and cut it out. Use dies if you have ones of these sizes. I didn't, so I'm doing it old school way. Make sure that that fits. I'm a little bit, it's hard for me because this camera's in the way. Okay, I think I'm good there. Let's hope and pray for the best. Okay, there we go. Phew, it worked. Okay, so now let's get these kind of out of the way. Does anybody still use these Creative Memories circle cutters? I have all different shapes. Yeah, Mom, Joel has Bailey's, but the problem is you have to find the mini Baileys. The mini Baileys was what was a little bit hard to find. Okay. I mean, truthfully, we are almost done. But so now what I would do next is put my decorative paper on. And the reason why is because it helps guide you when you put this together. And you'll see why. So this piece is just a sample that I had made. I put the decorative piece down, and what it helps you do is it helps you line up where you need to fold this up and attach it to. If that's not there, it's a little bit more difficult, and you're trying to guess where to line it up. So I'm gonna decorate it first, okay? And so the part that you have the circles cut out, I'm going to put down. And then this is the back. Can you see? This is the big area here that serves as the back. And we're going to decorate the top. So this one, I'm going to put a piece that is 2.5 by 6. And you want it to be just inside of the 6 because you're going to fold these, you know, along the score lines. And so it helps so you don't fold over a little piece, okay? And since this is a red background, I'm going to put the holly side up on here, okay? So let's just add our adhesive. You can use whatever adhesive you like. Okay, and before I put this down, I want to think about what color I want to be on the outside. Because you know the Close to My Heart paper is two-sided. It has two different colors on it. This paper is scarlet, and the dark side is a scarlet, and then the lighter side is just a little bit lighter shade of scarlet. I don't know if you can tell the difference between those two colors. Okay, this is a dark side, and then this is the light side. When I fold this up, I want the dark side to be out. Okay, and so I'm going to put my decoration on the light side because this is going to be folded up like this, so I want the dark side out. So put the side that you want to be on the outside down, okay, and then adhere your decoration and make sure you kind of get in between the scored lines. That was a little bit too far on that side. Maybe you would even cut this a little bit more. Okay. So we're going to put that there. And now, so that's this back part here. Now we're going to put this piece on here, okay? And that one is actually on, you can see it's on the panel that's right next to where the holes are, okay? So what I'm going to do is turn it over so it's on the right side, the side that I want out, and it's this panel right here. And so on this one, I'm going to use the red side of my paper, okay? This is paper from the Comfort and Joy collection, okay? And all of our paper is two-sided, so you can see this side is the holly, and then this side is the red. So I want the red to be showing on the outside because that's where I'm going to put some of my decorations. So let's put the adhesive on the side I don't want to show. Okay, and then put it on this panel. Now, you can do this after you fold it if you want to, but I found after making several of these that I like to do it this way best. Okay? Okay, let's put it back here. Now, another thing, if you noticed, the sides I tapered down, okay? I cut them down so you can see more of what's inside. And so what I did was I took from where the bottom of this paper is, I put a mark just kind of on the outside. So I lined up a ruler and I'm just going to mark it here on the edge and on this edge. And then you can just, if you are confident, you can just cut it from that mark to the corner there. But I'm not that confident, so I'm going to draw a light line I don't know if you can see. So I'm going to draw a light line from the top up here to where I made that mark. So it should be kind of even with the bottom of the paper. Okay, and draw the line. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to go from where my mark is to the line. There we go. And that just helps guide me because, like I said, I'm not very confident. And then I try to cut just inside of it so the pencil's not going to show. Okay, and then cut this one. Okay. You've never used your circles, Vicki? Oh my gosh, I use them all the time. Now for this one, I'll show you. I did use a thin cut on this one, which was a little bit harder. I used one of our thin cut rectangles. Okay, now I'm going to cut. So you need to cut these pieces here because these are going to be the flaps that you fold in. Okay, so all you need to do is cut along each score line. So cut along the score line and cut to the square line that goes this way. Okay. Okay, I cut 3 on this side. Turn it around and cut 3 on this side. Okay, so now we're very close to being done. Okay, I'm just going to fold each of these along the score line and then use a bone folder. There we go. Use a bone folder. This one doesn't look straight. There we go. Fold this one and this one in. Okay, same thing here. Bone fold these right along the score lines. Okay, and then I'm also going to fold along these. And remember, think about, this is the wrong side. This is the side that's going to be on the inside, which is the lighter color. And then this is the correct side, the side that I want to show. So I'm going to be folding into the wrong side. So let's start at the top here. It'll be easier. Okay, fold there. Do the next one. Okay, now I just have to do this one. This one's a little bit harder because remember you cut almost right up against that, so make sure that you don't kind of rip that. You want to be a little bit careful along this one. It's because you can see that I'm very close to the edge there, right? There's only a little bit to fold over. Okay, and then the last one is folding this tab here. Okay, so everything is kind of folded up. Now you can see it's starting to take shape. Okay, now here's something I recommend. You know that our paper has a white core, And so you can see when you fold this that sometimes some of the white shows. Well, like this is a good example here. You see how the white is showing from the white core? If that doesn't bother you, fine. If it does bother you, I'll show you what you can do. Now, depending on what color you use, you can take your ink pad I don't have scarlet ink pad, but I have a candy apple. I could take my ink pad and a little finger dauber, and I'll just show you. Get some on here, and then swipe on the edges to kind of get rid of that white. Or you can use one of our tri-blend markers if you have one that coordinates, and just kind of, this is the light one, I want the dark side. The tri-blend markers has 3 colors, light, medium, and dark. And I kind of like this one, especially for inside the circles, because they will show, the white can show, and this makes it easier. But you want to be careful that you don't go and mark up your paper. But I don't know if you can see that very well, but it's taking away the white edges. Okay. And anytime I make something that's paper crafted, that I fold, I kind of do that. And I will look at it again once we get it together and see if there's any little spots that I want to get to. Okay, now the last thing is we're going to add our adhesive. Okay, so you're going to put adhesive on all of these pieces except for this second one. Okay, so I'm going to put, and I use score tape here to keep it, to make it sturdy, but you can try and use regular adhesive. So I am using the score tape. You probably know me and my passion for score tape. So you want to put it along the edges, and on this first one you want to make sure it's below where you angled it. Otherwise it would show. Okay, skip this one. Put a piece here, and then I'm going to put a piece here. Okay, do the same thing on the other side. Vicky, you bought yours on Craigslist. I got my Creative Memories cutters secondhand also from a friend who was downsizing, and I'm really glad I picked it up. The only thing is I wish I had the green blade. There's 3 blades, you know, and some of them have a green blade. This is the older version. I only have the blue and the red. I wish I had the green, because then it would be a little bit easier, but. Okay, so now I have the tape on this side, and I'm going to flip it over, and then I'm going to put tape on this side of the one that we didn't do here. So the ones that we skipped, on this, we're going to put the tape on this side. And it's just because of how you fold them in. Okay. So put some tape there. In here. And then you want to put some along the lip here where it's going to attach to the back. Now my score tape is a little bit longer than this cut, but that's okay because it's going to be kind of on the inside, so it won't stick out. Okay. And then I am going to trim these edges, but So now we're good to assemble. Okay, so the first thing that I will do is you're going to put this flap up against this line that the bottom of your paper makes. Again, that is why I think it's really useful to put this on first, because it gives you a guide. Okay, and this is a little bit awkward to do, and it's probably going to be awkward since the camera is like right here in front of my face, but I'll try my best. So the key is you want it to be up against that line, but you also want it to be, you know, even on each side. Maybe if we do it this way, you can see it better. So I kind of line it up here and here, right up against that edge, and then kind of push it down. Okay, that's not too bad. Okay, now let's do the sides. So I want it to look nice, you know, on the sides. So what I did is I did the top and the bottom first, so that the front can kind of cover it up. So here we're going to put these two pieces together, and you can see, based on where you have the tape, this is going to go in first, and then this one's going to go on top of it, okay? So take the tape off here, or the cover, okay, and put them in. Now, when you do this, you want to make sure that you're as square as you possibly can get it. Okay, good. And now I'm going to do this side, you know, the sides. So I'm going to put the back piece in first, and then this is going to go on top of it, so that from the front it looks good. Okay, so take off the cover on each of these. Okay, and then push this down. Again, you want to try and make it square. There, see, there we go. Looks good on that side. Now let's do this side. And again, you're going to put the top and the bottom in first. And you can tell based on where we put the tape which one goes in. So let's uncover that. And uncover this one. And fold that in. For some reason it's not letting me be straight there. Okay. Okay, so those are in, and now this one, again, I fold the back first, and then this one next, so that it covers it up, okay? Take off the tape. Okay, push the back in, and then this one. Okay, there we go, we've got our box made. Okay, and then all we have to do is finish decorating it. Are there any questions before we start decorating it? Wasn't that really easy? And it's out of one piece of paper, very simple, right? You can put this together very quickly. No questions? Everybody figure that out? It's really easy. Okay, so now let's decorate it. What I decided to do was to decorate it with the November stamp of the month. Okay, the November stamp of the month, and this was kind of the inspiration for this Boozy hot chocolate, because you've got the like a hot cocoa thing here, or a coffee cup here that you can decorate it with. And then you warm my heart, which if you put some booze in your coffee or hot chocolate, right, it's going to warm you up. Or wishing you a cozy holiday. So I think that these were perfect. So I'm going to, I think, use the Wishing You a Cozy Holiday, and I just used an oval cutter, and then I cut a mat in scarlet to match. That was a little bit bigger than my other piece, okay? And then I think I'm going to put that on the back here. Okay, so let's just tape that down. Okay, and then I'm going to put this on the back. So try and center it. So I'm going to put it right there. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is add the candy canes. So I have some candy canes here. Okay, and then I'm going to attach them to either side, like I did here. Okay, so here I put You Warm My Heart, but this time I put Wishing You a Cozy Holiday. But so I'm going to put the candy canes like that. Okay, I like to use a piece of, if you've ever cut some Cricut vinyl or something, I always save the backing because it makes a great piece to put your adhesive on, and it doesn't get stuck to the paper. I learned that tip from Julie, if Julie's on here. Okay, so let's put the candy canes on, and I X'd them kind of like this, a little bit, and then stick them on here. Okay, do the same thing on the other side. Okay, stick these together. Put it on the other side. Okay, so that's part of the set, this little candy cane here, and it stamps really pretty in red. So that's just, you know, one color stamp. And then I'm going to use this kind of poinsettia flower. And I think I'm going to use use it in green. And I stamped these in New England Ivy because that goes really well with this background, the New England Ivy. Put a little bit of adhesive on this just to cover up the where you cross them over. You know, don't have to do it, but it does add a little bit. And these are both really easy stamps to do because it's just one color. You know, you can't really mess it up. So just these are just red, and this is just a New England Ivy. Okay, and then at the front, I'm going to put the hot chocolate. I thought I had a hot chocolate thing here. Let me see, I have a hot chocolate. Maybe not. Well, I have the red. Oh yeah, here I have a red hot chocolate. Okay, I have a little hot chocolate here. Okay, and I'm going to just adhere that to the front. So that's this one here. And again, this is pretty too because it's one color and it makes that design. I just stamped that in candy apple red. And then it even has the little marshmallows, or you can do the hot chocolate or the Cool Whip swirl if you want. I'm gonna do the marshmallows because I have marshmallows on mine, right? So I just stamped a few marshmallows, and let's cut this out. I'm just gonna, you can cut them out individually, or you can cut them out as the trio. My phone says low battery, so I don't know. If I get cut off, it's because of my low battery. So you can put it like this if you want, or you can cut them individually, like this. So I'll cut them individually so that you don't see that. I don't like to see that white part in between. Okay, so here, let's trim these up. And then I think there's one more here. Okay, and then I'm going to attach these with the 3D foam dots. And this is Z3342. I use the small ones on there, so they'll be a little popped up. Okay. Okay. Put that there. Put that there, and then the last one, and then we'll be done. Isn't that cute? Okay, it's all decorated. Now we just have to put our samples in. So again, I'm going to put Bailey's, mini Bailey's, 100 milliliters goes here. I bought the Starbucks hot cocoa. There's also a Swiss Miss version, but I bought this one because at the store the Swiss Miss was like a bulk pack, and so I didn't want to buy so many of them. So I bought the Starbucks and only had 22. And then the last one, again, like I said, I'm putting Smashmallows in here. This is the big package, and I took them out and put them in like an individual treat bag. I bought these from Michael's. You know, they're just like this. This is the size I happen to just have in my drawer, so I use this and cut it down. But you know, the things that you put, those would probably be for like chocolate covered pretzels or something. And then just stick that right in there. Wouldn't that make a cute coworker gift? Really, really cute. But if you don't want to promote, you know, drinking, or you're giving it to kids or something, you could put a hot cocoa and a treat. So these are the Christmas tree cakes from Little Debbie. And they're individually packaged, so that's why I got these. But again, to do this, I had to cut out a bigger rectangle. And I did use my rectangle. I used the rectangle thin cut. Oh, Jean, you think this would be good for a sister gift? Yeah. So in this one, I put a coffee pod and the little treat. Again, you can put candy, you know, a bag of candy, or you can put some homemade cookies that you made. you know, whatever. This one I put the coffee cup, and then I put these little poinsettias because I thought they were pretty on there. And then I put the smaller things from the set. There's also these little poinsettias. Okay, so here's the couple samples. Are there any questions about that? Okay, this paper came from the mix-in paper pack, the tree, and this is the same paper, but the two sides. So this is, you know, one side of the paper is the green with the white trees, and then the other side is the white with the green trees. So I popped the link into that. It's the mix-in paper pack. And now I'll pop in a link to the November stamp of the month. If you have not gotten this yet, you need to get it. It's $18.95, just regular, but if you place a $50 order, it's only $5. And if you are a VIP, you get it for free. Yes, you get it for free. Okay, I popped that link down there too. Okay. So that's the Boozy or the not so Boozy treat boxes for coworker, neighbor, or sister gift. I hope you liked the demo. Next week, what I'm going to show is how to make gift holders. Ooh, look at that. Gift card holders or money holders. You know, we need to give our gift cards to the newspaper person, the mail person, a friend, your son-in-law who you don't know what to buy for. You want to just give him a Banana Republic gift card or something. So these are a couple samples of what we're going to make. So next week is gift card holders. Okay. I also would like to show you December stamp of the month because that's coming up on Tuesdays, December. The December stamp of the month is so beautiful. I think it's one of my favorite stamp of the months. It's got just such a classic design to it, these roses and some really beautiful sayings. This is the December stamp of the month, and you can get this for $5 if you spend a $50, if you make a $50 purchase on my website, only $5. And if you're a VIP, you get it for free with a $50 purchase. Okay, I made a few sample cards using this. Look how pretty that is. Happiness never grows old, and this. I actually, if you become a VIP with me, I give you cutting guides every month to go with the stamp of the month, and these are the cards for the December stamp of the month. So if you sign up to be a VIP, you'll get the instructions on how to make this. How to make 16 cards using the December stamp of the month. You melt my heart. Yeah, something Olaf would say. I love those the snowflakes. So we're going to talk about this one next week. Yeah, the video will be up on the Facebook group. So if you need to make this for, you know, a birthday gift later, or like say a Valentine's gift, right? These would be fun. End of the year teacher gift, Christmas teacher gift. These would be perfect teacher gifts. These are really good gifts if you're in like the $10 range, because you know, that's probably about what these would cost if you, price it out individually. The Baileys, those are like, I think the pack was maybe $12. So like, say they're $4 or $5 each. And then, one coffee pot is not that much. And the marshmallows were, a few dollars. So, it's a nice $10 gift for somebody. Okay, well, my phone flashed low battery again, so I should be going. Next week, gift cards. Watch for Technique Tuesday. I'm going to show how to make those animated cards. Also on Monday is the Cyber Monday sale. So I don't know if you got anything from the Black Friday sale. I did. I got a lot of embellishments. I got glitter gems, a shimmer brush. I got glitter tape, shimmer tape. I got a lot of stuff. And so Monday they'll have a whole new set of specials. Also, there was an exclusive set of stamps for the sale, and I'm hoping that they'll have it again for the Cyber Monday sale. There's a Thanksgiving and a Christmas set, but they also have some quarantine sayings like "Baby, it's COVID outside" on the Christmas one, and like "Quarantine can't stop Thanksgiving" or "COVID can't stop Thanksgiving." I don't remember exactly the saying. So check that out. Thanks for joining me. Hopefully on Saturday you can join my open workshop. Just come and work for a few hours on your Christmas cards. Finish them, get them sent out in the mail. I will be working on the Jingle Joy set. So if you haven't done your Jingle Joy set, or if you didn't do the Comfort and Joy or the Serenity set, bring those along. I'll put the Zoom link in the Facebook group. Okay? See you next week. Bye.